What's up everyone, Tyrese here, and you're watching Smack Talk, a show where we talk about...
What are you doing? This is my show.
Oh, I see, Gramps. Because I'm black, I must be stealing your shit.
No, it's not a race thing, it's just I've been doing this show for years. People want to see me.
Times have changed, need more diversity. Who wants to see a crusty old cracker with bigoted opinions? You're old and racist. I bet you don't even got any black friends.
That's not true. When I was a young boy, I had a black friend who I was very fond of. Until my parents sold him. Easy come, easy go.
Oh, you racist motherfucker!
Yeah, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got into this situation. Well, it all started when I forgot to lock my front door. Oh wait, I meant to be doing a review of Black Panther. Shit. How could I not see this movie? Especially with all the politically and racially charged marketing and clickbait splattered all over the internet like a blindfolded bukkake party. Please do not Google that reference. Finally, black people have a superhero to call their own. Apart from Blade, and Spawn, and a few others. But Black Panther is so awesome, he retroactively becomes the first ever black superhero. If you think my mental gymnastics are bad, look on social media and see all the other clickbait shit covering this Marvel mediocrity. Remember, it's not a movie, it's a movement. Yeah, a bowel movement. There is nothing on in theaters during February. It's a slow movie month. So you either see generic Marvel movie number 314 or a 50 Shades of Grey sequel. Either way, someone is getting fucked. So I went and saw Black Panther, just in time for Black History Month. Pure coincidence, that. The titular Black Panther is played by Chadwick Boseman, who puts on a hilariously thick Ugandan accent. His character arc is... well, I'm not sure, because he was established in another fucking Marvel film, but now he has his own film where his character is punching more things, and through trials and tribulations, he punches things even harder, and makes cars explode. Black Panther is set in Wakanda, a fictional techno-utopia that somehow hasn't been mined to shit by China for iPhone materials, and is devoid of machine gun-wielding warlords and child soldiers, because that would be racist. But having characters being literal spear chuckers isn't. I guess Hollywood just can't shake off some stereotypes. Wakanda is a super advanced African civilization, and it's able to be like this thanks to its closed borders, nationalism, and being an ethno-state. Uncle Adolf would be proud. If you're going to make this inclusive and progressive, then try not to trip over yourself, Marvel. But who cares? Here are Zulu warriors in power armor with killer manicured nails and laser kitten mittens. Wakanda needs a king, and it doesn't give a shit about democratic elections, just like real Africa. Chadwick fights and does drugs to go on an acid trip that makes him king. Great message for the kids, Marvel. Now it's time for globe-trotting and more fighting, so BP and his gang of Maasai warriors, but not quite, go to South Korea to hunt Andy Serkis, who is an evil South African who shoots black people for fun. I'm working on my South African accent. His character is also a subtle reference to apartheid and all that. Very subtle. Only scholars will be able to figure that out 200 years from now. He's the big bad arms dealer and has a MacGuffin everyone wants because every Marvel film has one of those. The MacGuffin that everyone is scrambling to get hold of is something called vibranium, which I think is the material used to make vibrators. Wakanda is full of this stuff that handily makes weapons, flying ships, holographic cars, clothing, plot convenience, you name it. But Andy is a red herring because the main baddie is Black Panther's ghetto trash cousin who wants to be king so he can harness the power of blue shit and take over the world. He's really pissed off about Whitey too, and the film gets very preachy and often veers into anti-white territory, going so far as to have the Wakandans call Westerners colonizers. Politics as subtle as a turd on a white carpet. Black Panther's cousin, Killmonger, that's his name, visits Wakanda after killing Andy and brings the corpse along to show he can do a better job than the current king. I got confused because Andy was also doing vibranium heists with Killmonger. What was the point of those? We didn't need Andy Serkis at all, or the whole sequence of events in Korea. Killmonger already knows where Wakanda is, and he has royal heritage. Just show up in Wakanda, challenge Black Panther, and the exact same plot could unfold. Fuck it. Killmonger shows up, and this causes family drama between him and Black Panther. So the film plays it up and tries to make it kind of Shakespearean. if Shakespeare had brain damage and went on a crystal meth binge. Killmonger beats up Black Panther and becomes king for what seems like a literal day. But Black Panther comes back for the contractually obligated action-packed third act. As the film went on, I found myself thinking the whole movie played like a sort of Marvel Cinematic Universe best hits album. Black Panther has the family drama and daddy issues of Thor, the CGI spaceship fights of Guardians of the Galaxy, the clunky computer-generated characters jumping about just like Spider-Man Homecoming, and the glowing plot devices and eye-rolling quipping like every single bastard Marvel hero film they've ever made. I don't see why it's getting all this praise. What makes it revolutionary? The score, that's comprised of ill-fitting hip-hop pissing into our ears like it was about to turn into a rap music video, or that the film is a glorified car commercial for Lexus. As with all of Marvel's cinematic blandness, it builds up to a big CGI battle sequence, with tribal warfare, and Black Panther squaring up to Apollo Creed's son. There is no jeopardy. It's a superhero film. Black Panther has plot armor thicker than your mother, and we know he won't die because he's in the next upcoming Marvel film, Infinity War. So, no spoilers here. He gets rid of his douchebag cousin, who just becomes another black-on-black crime statistic. Black Panther's character arc comes full circle. He becomes king, loses his kingship, and gets it back very quickly, but this time he wants to share technology and outreach programs with America, not with the struggling continent of Africa. Hooray? Is that it? Quite frankly, my dear, Black Panther meanders drunkenly around in tone and identity. It wants to be a superhero origin story, while also trying to be real-world political, while also attempting to be the Lion King with punching, but also appeal to a broad demographic, and like a prolapsed rectum, it all just falls apart. This isn't a good movie. If you want a good film set in Africa, you need to work Hollywood for the finest African cinematography. Look at that CGI. Beats Black Panther any day.
Ugandan kiss.
These Marvel movies are painfully generic. Every one of these films has glowing MacGuffins, cities getting fucked through a bin bag, and CGI heroes fighting other CGI shit, usually grey humanoid things for the most part. It's lazy film design, but it works constantly. The fatigue of seeing all these cookie-cutter superhero films still hasn't set in yet. We keep watching them, and somehow it seems like no one is bored with the same shit over and over again. Marvel Studios are doubling down with even more superhero films to come, and there's Avengers Infinity War, which is packed with every single one of the fuckers, and the audience still aren't bored. Black Panther is the same Marvel movie formula, just with a black cast. How do you generate interest for this? Same as every other film these days. You market it with identity politics and outrage. Films aren't advertised based on their quality, but on how much manufactured controversy they generate. Black Panther isn't the first and won't be the last to use identity politics to create division and publicity amongst its potential viewers. This type of controversy marketing is the norm now. Take the all-female reboot of Ghostbusters, which used feminism to garner attention and had feminists and film fans going toe-to-toe on social media to generate clickbait, comments and publicity for its shameless reboot cash grab. Boobs Embraces Wonder Woman used gender politics to help its marketing along, and just like Ghostbusters, carried a heavy implication that if you hated the film, it was because you hated women, rather than the bad writing or tedious plot. Marketing like this is diabolical. It cannot lose. Feminists will go see the film under the heavily marketed empowerment guise. Spineless twerps afraid of being thought sexist will see it out of some weird guilt, and haters will go see it to see if they hate it, which they will. Nope, I didn't care for that. These shitty tactics can also be used to discredit other films, like Blade Runner 2049, for example, which was lambasted for being sexist to women, even though it's set in a dystopian future where everyone is equally shat on from a great height. Any publicity is good publicity. Marvel Studios and its leash-holder Disney use internet squabbling to help bump up search engine optimization and create easy outraged opinion pieces for advertising. Black Panther uses race-baiting for its marketing, and it's scummy. Even going so far as to blame any bad reviews on a cabal of racist malcontent internet trolls rather than people who genuinely disliked the film. I didn't want to talk politics. I didn't, but it seems you can't escape it. It's rampant. Every piece of media seems to be politicized or
pushing an agenda. Political correctness is also putting a stranglehold on everything.
Diversity seems to be the hot topic these days, but it often feels that people forget the diversity of the past. Back in the 90s, no one made a big song and dance about the casting of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which featured an affluent all-black family looking after a retarded Will Smith. Children's cartoons were littered with diversity, from mulleted power-bottom Captain Planet and his ad hoc UN committee-style Planeteers, to cartoon Ghostbusters, which had a black guy, a Latino, a closeted gay, a goth chick with daddy issues, and a man-car hybrid. We've had lots of diversity in films and TV for years, but the current media just seems to make a big deal out of it. The acceleration of political correctness has ramped up over the past decade, and this has been a detriment to comedy. Now I look back on old comedy shows and films wondering if any of them could be made today, and I find myself realizing a lot of them wouldn't, even though it's only been a very short time since they've been made. Take the charming comedy film Four Lions, that sees incompetent British terrorists fumbling about and completely botching their own jihad. It even got praise from The Guardian, yet a few years later a sketch by the BBC called The Real Housewives of ISIS got outraged shit thrown at it faster than you can say Allah Akbar. We live in a time where people are profiting from goading us into fights over race and sex. It's all so petty, and everyone needs to get a thicker fucking skin. Without fail, every movie I have seen that overhyped itself using politics was crap. The use of identity politics, in particular, has been a smokescreen to cover up bad writing and half-baked ideas. Good movies don't need to ignite the flames of outrage culture. Good movies don't need to resort to such gimmicks. Studios don't really care about your personal politics, PC culture, or any of that. They will pander to anyone, as long as they can make money off of it. If Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb tear their films a new arsehole, that doesn't matter, as long as it makes big bucks at the box office opening weekend. It's up to you, the viewers, to vote with your wallets and eyes to dictate the political climate you want, not the one the media wants.
You didn't like Black Panther because you're racist. That's it.
I just thought it was a pretty forgettable generic superhero film. All this fighting over race and racism is pathetic, and I know how to stop it. Old man powers, activate! A peace offering, my friend.
Aw, you definitely racist now. Seriously, that old stereotype that black people just love fried chicken?
That's the point, though. It's silly. Look past the stereotypes and see it for what it is. It's just a silly joke, not worth getting bent out of shape over. But PC thugs would have us fight over it. Making fun of people's foibles is part of the very basis of humour. Everyone is a little bit racist, and there's a stereotype for everyone. French people surrender easily, Welshmen shag sheep, and my dog went missing near a Chinese restaurant. All silly, and we need to stop taking things so seriously.
But what are you saying?
I'm saying we need to laugh again, and not keep taking things to heart. Not be easily outraged by shitty journalism, and be able to enjoy some banter. We can either fight and not tell silly jokes, or we can unite under banter and enjoy this fried chicken. What do you say?
I guess you have a weird point. You're still a racist cum skin, but I guess fried chicken is a stereotype we can all get behind.
Great. And I know just the place where we can enjoy it.
Sick, just drive.
Okay, calm down.
Hey man, you're right. This movie does suck.
Yeah, well, I figured we could stink up the cinema with fried chicken and ruin the movie by talking through the whole thing.
Damn, this movie is mediocre. Might as well have the Avengers in blackface.
By the way, why has a black youth from America come to England to be in my show?
Don't question it, Gramps. Don't question it.
Now you're gonna see. This is how we do action in Uganda.
If you have enjoyed, please support. We also have a Kickstarter. You can support through a Kickstarter. If you have missed the Kickstarter, please, we have a website. You can also keep on supporting the Action Studio, the first of its kind in Africa.